Hello everyone, Ryan here. So, I checked out some more graphic novels from my local library, and I figured I'd talk about them. So, hence the title of this video, obviously. So anyways, I'll just get right into it. First is Justice League 3001, and this is Volume 2, Things Fall Apart. I read and reviewed Volume 1 a while ago. If you'd like to check out that review, I'll provide a link to it down below. I definitely enjoyed Volume 1, and so very briefly, Justice League 3001, what it is in the year 3001, the Justice League is resurrected. By resurrected, I mean there's a scientist who is able to take the DNA of the original members of the Justice League and combine it with DNA of different, I guess you could say, host bodies. And because of the fact that members of the Justice League have much more powerful DNA than that of, say, your average human, then automatically, it's pretty much as though the DNA of the host body is completely altered, and until eventually, the host body resembles one of the original members of the Justice League. So, of course, such as Superman, Wonder Woman, the Flash, Batman. But I won't say any more because I do explain that a little more in my review of Volume 1. So again, the link will be down below to that. But this one picks up pretty much right where Volume 2 leaves off. I've already started reading it somewhat, and it's definitely interesting. I don't want to give away too many details, but I will say that Supergirl has a much bigger part in this than in Volume 1. So, yeah. Next one I checked out is Wolverine Old Man Logan, and I've yet to read this, but I've skimmed through it. And of course, I am familiar with the recent movie. I did see the recent movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There were some parts that I had some qualms with, that I disagreed with, but ultimately, it was pretty good. I will say in this one, in the comic book version of what is referred to as Old Man Logan, there's obviously a lot more details to the overall story. So yeah, and that's why I checked this out, because I wanted to just kind of familiarize myself with the story of Old Man Logan. And this definitely looks, already, I mean, I've only skimmed through it, but it already looks a lot better than the movie. Although, again, I still definitely enjoy the movie. I also checked out this one. It's pretty small. It's just Guardians of the Galaxy. And yeah, I don't really know what the story is about. I think it's just kind of like a short kind of side story, side adventure that they go on. But it seemed interesting enough. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I did see the first one. I definitely enjoyed that. I don't know when I'll be able to get around to seeing the latest movie. But yeah, if you've already seen it, please don't spoil anything for me. Not yet. Next one I checked out is Batgirl, Silent Night, Batgirl Volume 1. And I gotta admit, I've never read any Batgirl comic books let alone graphic novels. So this seemed interesting. I skimmed through it. Yeah, it just seemed really pretty interesting. It also looks like it has kind of, a very, I guess you'd say, much more, well, slightly darker theme to it. Much like Batman, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know much about Batgirl. I do know that there's a difference between Batgirl and Batwoman, and I also know that I want to say it's something like 2 or 3 different females have taken on the role as Batgirl and or Batwoman, both in the comic book version and also in some of the earlier Batman movies. Yeah, or actually more by which I mean the Batman, the old Batman TV show that was on like a while ago. Really, I want to say the 1960s. But yeah, other than that, I don't know much about Batgirl, so that's why I checked this out. Next one I checked out is Raccoon, A Chasing Tale. Yeah, I was interested in just learning a little more about this character in particular, Raccoon. He definitely seems like, not only do I think he's a cool character, but also pretty interesting. This one looks like it's definitely like a lot more, has a much bigger comedic element to it than just the regular Guardians of the Galaxy storylines. So yeah, check this out. Next one I checked out is titled Forever Evil, and it is by DC Comics. This one, the only thing I know about this one is what happens is there's this group, I guess, of bad guys or villains, but they don't really have any other name that they go by other than the crime syndicate or just the syndicate. And so this group, the syndicate, they end up killing all the members of the Justice League, and I guess they then go ahead and start pretty much taking over the entire world. And because of that, the regular DC Comics villains don't like that, and they take it upon themselves to start pushing back, fighting back against this group known as the Syndicate. And essentially, the DC Comics villains are the ones who become like the new Justice League, I guess. Definitely seemed very interesting. I do believe I heard about this from another fellow booktuber. Of course, I forget his name. But yeah, if you're watching this, thanks for recommending this to me, because my local library happened to have a copy of it. I skimmed through it. It definitely looks very interesting, very awesome. So, yeah. Last graphic novel I checked out is actually, I believe, non-fiction, though possibly most of it is maybe somewhat exaggerated. I don't know. It is pretty new. It's The Abominable Mr. Seabrooks by Joe Ullman. And what this is, it's essentially like a biographical graphic novel about a journalist named William Seabrook. And William Seabrook, I guess, seems like he was a very fascinating individual. Not just because, well, supposedly he was a quote-unquote functioning alcoholic, but also he was very much into things like voodoo and cannibalism. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know much else about him. I do like that the way his life is depicted in this. It's depicted in, I guess, with more of a comedic kind of overtone. And yeah, I guess the only other thing I know is that the guy that wrote this, Joe Ullman, I guess William Seabrook happened to be one of his like all-time favorite writers. And yeah, I don't know much else about it. It just seemed really interesting, and there's also some parts that are also pretty compelling and funny. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you've heard of this too. But yeah, that'll do it for all the graphic novels I recently checked out from my local library. Thanks for watching. Let me know if any of you have heard of these titles. Also, if you can recommend similar titles, I definitely appreciate that. So, once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.